Hello and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden and today I'm going to bring you the video that you've been waiting for, the top 5 bourbon of 2021. Let's get right into it. Now, before we start, I'd like to say sorry for my hiatus. I have been sick. I've had COVID over the Christmas holidays, a very busy time for me. I am feeling quite a bit better now. There's some residual side effects that lasted for a while after I got it, but after everything, I feel better. I'm ready to get back into it. But that's enough dwelling in the past for this video. We're going to go ahead and get right into discussing what the top 5 bourbon of 2021 are, starting with number 5 on our list, Redwood Empire Grizzly Beast. Now, this bottle came out in the later part of the year, and I didn't really think I was going to see one. It just happened to be by chance that I got my hands on it. But it's a wonderful bottle. It's a 4-grain, 100 proof, bottled in bond, and it has tasting notes of grapefruit, tropical, foresty, just delicious fruits, and it's not overly oak spicy. It doesn't have a lot of the oakier tones to it, but it does have a bit of baking spice, and it has a lot of other great things going on with it. And for Redwood Empire to do the limited release of this is very important, because Redwood Empire is just slowly starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they make a lot of good whiskey, and their Grizzly Beast is no exception. So this is a great bottle of whiskey, coming in at number 5. Number 4 on our list of top 5 bourbons of 2021 is Rems Reserve 5. Now, I know this bottle made a top list out of a lot of people's lists, and I'm gonna be honest, it's because it's great whiskey. I just had it in a blind the other night, and I really love it. It's just very good juice. It's old, 13 to 16 years old, very high rye, spicy, but it's got that oaky richness to it, and there's a little bit of leather on the palate and a little bit of funky leather on the palate, but overall that baking spice, caramel, dark oak from the age and the high rye is nothing to sneer at. And since they do yearly releases of this bottle, it's no secret that they're always going to be making top 5, top 10, top 20 lists of the year. But this one really stood out to me, and the fact that I was able to get one really kind of blows my mind, because I got it past the point where I thought I'd be able to see it, and then all of a sudden I walked into a store, there it was at retail value. Very good bottle for the price. Love this bottle. That is number 4 on this year's top 5. Number 3 on this year's list is gonna have to go to Booker's Batch 2021-04 No Strangers. Now, I know this is Booker's. They come out with a bunch of releases every single year, and some people think they're overpriced, and some people think that this wasn't the best batch and that other batches were better, but this is the only batch that I could get my hands on, and for me to experience my first Booker's and have it be this delicious is saying something, because when this hit my lips, I was so in awe about the sheer viscosity and chewiness of the whiskey in this bottle. It's so great, and surprisingly not even that old. I believe it's 6 years, 6 years old, and it's only 120 proof, so just respectable. But this bottle is elegant, and it is just delicious. The chocolate brownie peanut butterness of this bottle, there's some caramel and a little bit of red fruit in it, but overall this bottle is so good. That puts it at number 3 on my list, and I honestly was contemplating putting it number 1, but I have a different number 1 in mind that is probably going to shock everybody. Now, before we get to the top 2 of this list, I would like to ask you guys to please hit that subscribe button and leave a comment in the comment section what you think my number 1 whiskey of the year of 2021 is going to be. I know a lot of you probably won't guess it, because it's a bottle that a lot of you probably haven't had, and it may be surprising with the proof, the price, and everything about this bottle, but there's certain key points that I want to point out when I get there. That being said, leave a like, and let's get into bottle number 2. Bottle number 2 is Elijah Craig Batch C921. Now, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof is obviously going to make everyone's list of top 5, top 10 whiskeys of the year. Now, I only got my hands on a C batch, but I have had other batches of Elijah Craig barrel proof, and this C batch is really something special to me and near and dear to my heart, being the first one that I've ever had. And the dark notes in this and the sheer full-bodied experience that this whiskey gives me is amazing. I mean, it's so delicious, dark, chocolatey, oaky. It's just almost like an out-of-body experience, some might say, and I love it. It's only 120 proof, which is on the low end of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs, but it honestly didn't disappoint. I loved this bottle, even though a lot of people didn't, but that's number 2 on our list. Now, before I get into number 1, let me just preface this by saying I know what a lot of you guys might think about this bottle, and I know what a lot of you guys are going to think after I say it, but it is a wonderful bottle indeed, and if you haven't tried it out, give it a try because big things are coming from these guys in the future. So, my number 1 bourbon of 2021 is Brothers Bond Bourbon. Yes, Brothers Bond you might not have heard of, or maybe you have, but if you haven't heard of it, ever hear of a show called The Vampire Diaries? Because if you had, the 2 main characters of that show became really good friends, and their characters drank a lot of bourbon, and so they spent the last 10 years working with MGP and master distillers, picking out their favorite profiles of bourbon, and what did they drink on the set of these shows? A lot of Brown-Forman products, Woodford, Old Forester, all that kind of stuff. Now, they made this 4-grain bourbon, and they modeled it after that kind of stuff, so a lot of people who love the taste of Brown-Forman products are gonna like something like this. And this is only 80 proof. It's a celebrity whiskey. It's a bit overpriced, but something super cool that these guys do is they give a portion of the proceeds to regenerative agriculture, and they're slowly starting to make their bourbon brand be self-sustaining on their regenerative agriculture. Now, I know that there's not a lot of places that are doing things like this. I know there might be a few that are getting into keeping the nature and everything fresh and nice, but a lot of times they don't really think about all the stuff they're using to make bourbon, and these guys really do. And it's not one of those things where celebrities, you know, they pick out the whiskey and they say, yep, looks good, here's my name, now you can sell it for more. This is something that they've worked really hard on, and they're coming out with lines of. They love bourbon, and they're representing a whole thing. And one of the characters, one of the actors, Ian Somerhalder, even tried making a documentary on bourbon, and I know how many of you would love to watch a bourbon documentary. He shot his shot at Netflix, asked to make a bourbon documentary, had it all written up, and at the last, he had it all set to go, and at the last minute, they decided to cancel it, budget issues. But that being said, they love bourbon, and this bourbon is fantastic. It is only 80 proof, it's $40 a bottle, but they're coming up with bottle and bond versions. They're coming out with cask strength, they're coming out with rye, they're doing a lot of cool things, and I'm super excited to see what else is coming from these guys. But that being said, that is my top 5 list of bourbons in 2021. Now, to get a video on this, it'll be coming out soon, probably next week or so. I'm about to do a review on it and get it edited so you guys can see it. That being said, please check out my Patreon at The Bourbon Bar. Go follow me on Instagram at The Bourbon Bar, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like if you like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next class.